Dave Whalen's going to come over after the biscuit goes for check my focus.
I got a walkie. There's a walkie in there. Good? Okay. I'm gonna lock her down. 'Cause I got other shit to go do. Okay. If that flag gets wrapped around.
Open us where we're at.
What's this called? Chamber Acres?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live here in Countdown to Pull Time. It's Chase Steinman, Phil Kelly, and we got our guests with us here today. And we've got a great pre-show planned for you here today. PK, you want to jump into it and introduce our guest here?
Donnie, you operate the winner of every show, the winner of every hook, the sled operator, Donnie Bower. Tell us where you're from, where you got into it. Let's just start with a little history lesson from those. Some of us interact with you.
Yep.
As a puller and as part of hosting and facilitating. You guys watching at home, and some guys just see you in a cab overlooking like the overseer.
Right.
So tell me what you do. Describe your job.
Well, basically my job is to show up with the sled, set the sled up, and I guess if you want to say that we're in charge of making the show look good, no matter what conditions we come into.
Absolutely.
That's what we got to do.
That's a great perspective. Well, let's circle back to that in just a moment. But we're here at Rockwell, Iowa, the Lions Club. How many years have you been coming here? Do you recollect?
Oh, it's got to be at least. Well, see, I competed years ago.
I was unaware of that. What'd you compete in?
I started out on a super farm in '99.
You love those things.
They're a fun class. You know, they're pretty. It's pretty easy to set the sled to them, and you
don't say that. Easy.
Well,
Let's go with another word like consistent.
Well, okay, so it's consistent, but they work really well to run a track in. That's where I'm going with that.
Okay.
So do you have the notebook with all your sled settings, or is it all up here? Because I've heard both from different operators.
I've never kept notes.
Okay, so just right off the top of your head, you know, watch the track, how it progresses, how it changes, and go from there. So
yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's impressive.
So your last name matches the sled builder. How are you guys related?
We're not.
I never knew that.
No.
I thought you guys were related.
Really? No. Everybody says I'm his brother. And
I have heard multiple things. Brothers, cousins, nephews. I've heard it the whole nine yards. I was like, oh, Donnie is somehow related to Vaughn Bowers, who we're referring to, the owner of the Bower Built sleds. And I forgot the specific name, but he develops all different types of machine implements and makes better planting machines and things like that. There's improvements that he makes to equipment that other people sell, tends to be, and then he comes up with his own line of items.
Yes.
So give me a description of his business, that Bower Built.
Well, Bower Built, they custom build some forklift frames for a company, and they're into about everything.
Yeah,
Vaughn's just got projects.
They built like a dump trailer years back, right? A side dump trailer, which is popular out west here in the Rock Quarters.
Popular back at home. We got companies back at home using them too.
When you say home, where's home for
Minnesota.
you? Minnesota. Yes,
Minnesota.
Okay, thank you.
So how many sleds are in the Bower crew then?
We have 4.
Okay, and all built by Vaughn.
Yeah.
So when you say there's 4 in your crew, you've actually built. How many sleds would you say are out there are Bower built?
I think
or
the
Bower
black
manipulated. Yeah. I don't know.
I might be off by 1 or 2, but I believe the black one that we built this spring was number 38.
38. Holy camoli. So what? Sorry. I apologize to you at home. We have our camera set up, but we also have the emergency responder services are right behind it, and they were pulling out to go grab and refresh between events. Sorry, I got a little wound up, didn't I? Right? So do you ever do that in the sled? You're like,
oh yeah,
you clench. What do you do? Is it a clench? Is it a brace? Is it like a foot on the dashboard?
No. You'll just grab on and hold tight on the steering wheel. It's like, oh boy,
this is gonna be a rough
this is gonna be a rough ride.
We're heading for the barriers, and he corrects it.
Yep.
So 38 builds over the years, but tell me how you got into it.
Well, I remember him when I was pretty young. He came up to one of the shows in Anoka, Minnesota, and
referring to Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn. I tell this story because it's kind of funny. I thought, here's this guy, comes into my town, he's got the same last name, and it wasn't going good for him that day, I don't think, because he was yelling at people, and I just thought, who is this angry little man with my last name yelling at everybody?
You gotta tell everybody, you're like 6'7", and Vaughn is normal. He's huge. Okay, so yeah, he was a little frustrated, huh?
Yeah, he was frustrated.
He was the operator of the sled that day?
Yes, he was, yeah. He's a great guy. I love working for him. I love working with him.
Well, I think he's a stand-up guy. That's what I really enjoy. We're on a complimentary service right now, so he's no bull crap.
Right.
He tells you like it is.
Yep.
So from that day, you met him.
Yep.
And how did you end up in the seat of one of the most performance items here at our tracks every week in and week out?
I guess lucky, if you want to call it that.
I like it, but I don't know if I could handle the travel.
Well,
right? Hustle.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be able to take criticism well. I get chewed out quite a bit.
I've looked up and did the, what are you thinking?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, what was that?
Right. Yeah, no, you get that. I had that last night.
Describe it. What part? What was your second guess?
The two-wheeler class last night got a little bit long, but I was expecting the track to come to the sled, meaning that it was going to get better for the sled quicker.
What does that mean to us? So what does that mean to them?
To them, it would mean a shorter distance.
Mm-hmm.
So we started the class out, and we were like at 331, and then we were going farther and farther. We ended up at like 395 halfway through the class, and I'm like, well, come on, son, you got to go down because the track needs to get better for me. And then when it did, we went from 395 back to 355.
So we had a great discussion about this after the class, you, myself, and Vaughn, and I just wanted to get perspective. And you had described how, and as pullers, we do the same thing. Large classes, we talked about it as hosts. As the sun went down, was that going to benefit, not benefit? Track conditions changed. There were 38 vehicles in the two-wheel drive truck class, and then we're referring to that one right now. That it was there was a little bit of excess moisture between that 280 to 300, and your sled was gliding through it, right? Not grabbing hold. But on the far side, they were getting a bite and driving beyond.
Correct.
Then we saw track conditions change because the sun went down. That smoothed off, and they started driving away. 370s, 360s. 360 something was a 25th place finish last night.
I know.
Which is crazy, right?
That's
when you think about it, you're like, 360, how did I burn that much? I should really be in the money. And then the moisture came up and made the track consistent. Your sled finally, you said grabbed, got a hold. It did its job the way it was intended.
Yeah.
You know, from the first hook, if you call it in thirds of a class, the first quarter, first third, grabbed. The middle got away because of track conditions, and then you caught the last third. Would you? Is that because that's sort of how we described it at the top of the? Yeah. So I interrupt you guys a lot. I ask about your load. I ask about the trip, and some of the items that you can manipulate. And I don't want to use the word manipulate. That you guys set for specific tracks, track conditions, and classes. Tell me what's the secret.
What's the secret?
Yeah.
Well, you kind of got to be able to feel it in your rear end, you know. You got to know what if the sled's going to get a hold of the dirt and be able to get them low or slowed, you know. So that's the biggest part about it, you know. When you get out there on a brand new track, you know kind of what to expect in geographical locations in the country.
Okay.
Ohio dirt is like amazing. Mm-hmm. Iowa dirt's pretty good.
Yep.
You know. And then you'll go other places in the country where it's not so good, you know. But you can adjust the sled to make the sled work. That's the biggest thing, is being able to make that adjustment. I've pulled in Texas on pure sugar sand and made a heck of a track out of it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's cool.
I mean, I watch them on our streaming service, which is available for $39.99 if y'all keep in, pay attention here. You're watching a complimentary show right now on the Full Pull Live and Full Pull Live YouTube site. As well as, did you know, have you hopped in the sled and when you're sitting between classes and the reweighing, have you ever hopped on the full pull picks yet?
I haven't. That's kind of a no-no. You really don't need to be on the phone. You need to be focused.
Okay.
You know what
I thought
mean?
you meant it was you doing your picks because you're just picking your best two finishers.
Right. No,
can you drag the brakes on if I gave you $5 on somebody?
Yeah, the red light will be on because
they're gonna know. All right. So there is that misnomer. There's no favoritism.
No.
Plausible.
No.
In the way these sleds are built.
No.
Because the indicators go off. Like I would know, somebody would know, someone behind it would know.
Absolutely.
And it loses the integrity. Right?
Well, and all you got to do is lose the trust of a couple pullers, and they don't even want you running the sled. So
Gotcha.
That's pretty important to maintain their trust. And really, I mean, if you look at it, they're putting their lives in your hand. If something would go wrong, you're responsible for them and the safety of the people around them.
I think we do take that for granted, that there is a sense of you are our safety net as an operator or a competitor.
You're supposed to be on the up and up and, alert and ready to do something if something goes wrong.
With the amount of sleds that you guys have built, I'm curious to see, like, how has the sleds changed within the past 20 years, per se?
Oh, wow. That's a big – that would require a lot more time to explain that.
Yeah.
They have changed tremendously.
We have 30 minutes. I mean,
so faster speeds would probably be one, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And pan length, the pans have gotten bigger as there's more horsepower developed in each class where we've came up with new classes, and it just if you have more horsepower, you got to have more pan area, grouser bars to get them stopped.
Yeah. So as these classes are progressing, it's important that you guys progress too to be able to stop them, essentially.
Right.
Okay.
That's why it's important to try new things. You can't be afraid to try new things.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, too, I mean, we've talked to a lot of sled operators, and I think the thing that the fans don't understand is the amount of upkeep and maintenance that a sled requires.
Right.
You tell us a little bit about that?
Well, you get done with an event, and you go home and look everything over, and you got chains to tighten, and brakes to look at, and make sure that you got no holes in air lines. As far as important components on the sled. And, I mean, it just takes some looking over. You might I usually spend a day after I do a 5-show event just to look everything over. I'll roll underneath with the creeper and see if there's leaks or, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to break down out here because it ruins the show for everybody.
Yeah.
What do you got when you refer to grousers? And some of the, this is a complimentary show, so not everybody who's watching is a destination viewer who understands pulling. What's a grouser? It's like a dog you had when you were a kid.
Let's just make the analogy like like a golf shoe. You know how it's got spikes?
Yes, sir.
Or a baseball spike?
Yes, sir.
That's got them little things underneath of it. I guess you could call them mini grouser bars.
Okay.
So that's a grouser. Ours are probably 12 inches long, and if you ever get down with a camera on the big end of the track, here is a good place to look. You can take the camera and go up over the top, kind of get above a little bit, and you can see the pattern that we have underneath the sled.
So if you tune in tonight, Donnie's invited us, you heard it here, to come and peruse the pattern that you have for your grouser bars. And if I'm not mistaken, your grouser bars are 1.5 to 2 inches thick, and they're shaped at different angles to collect the dirt, disperse the dirt, and almost become the drag. Right? You can't put all the weight on a smooth bottom. They're just like golf cleats, but they're bars.
Yep.
And you arrange them in I would almost say a proprietary manner, right? Because that could be part of the tricks of why we like pulling certain sleds and not other sleds that can imitate a hop if maybe the bars are a bit lateral or perpendicular to the takeoff, or the way that. So there's some technology and growth in that as you guys have developed over the years in 38 builds that you're aware of.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, and PK, you also talked about the trip as well. I think for the people watching at home, with the older sleds, it was the weight box moved up on the uphill climb there, and it stopped the vehicle. But there's a lot more that goes into it now, correct?
Yeah, with a flat rail sled, you can. Those old uphill sleds, basically, that was more or less to bring the box back, use the gravity to bring the box back. Well, now we just use the transmission in the sled. The self-propelled sled, we just take the transmission out of gear and put a drive in gear, and it'll propel the box back.
You're mechanically bringing it back instead of the whole gravity incline slope.
And the trip is what activates the down pressure on the pan.
So there's actually a few trigger switches there. You've got
a few.
Yeah, there's a few.
I knew of one.
No, there's more.
Bugger.
I'll have to get you into that, I guess. But wait, there's a bar about 6 feet long, about like that, and you can slide this trigger switch to basically relax the pan on the ground. Because as the sled's sitting on the starting line, you've got the back of the pan sitting off the ground. So basically, you've only got about the front, foot on the pan is on the ground, and then as you go down the track, that you hit that first trigger switch, we call it the pan drop switch, and it relaxes the pan on the ground flat. So then, and the bars, the grouser bars that we were just talking about, they're basically from halfway back on the pan to the rear. So there's nothing up front. That's smooth.
Okay.
So it's about halfway back on the pan and then to the rear.
And that's what gets those high speeds as well.
Yeah, it helps us get going.
So the squirrel in me automatically goes to the front of this sled getting so much wear. How often do you have to replace that curved edge on that front?
Yeah, that curved edge. There's wear plates that we weld underneath there, so we'll cut them off and put new ones on.
Is that a season?
About every 2 years.
Okay.
You can get 2 years out of them.
How many hooks do you think you do in 2 years then?
Oh, wow.
Or any season then?
Well, I remember
hooks to sessions. Like, I'm sort of curious of that breakdown of wear and tear.
Let's say like 5-6 years ago. No, it'd be about 8 years ago. I had done I think it was 83 events in the year. Right. We started in Texas in the spring, and we finished in Texas in the fall. I think Thanksgiving.
Really?
So yeah.
What does Texas eat for Thanksgiving? They do turkey down there?
Oh, they do turkey.
Okay. Some places do
a lot of guys
Kansas
go deer hunting down there, but the deer look like little dogs.
Oh, okay. Not like a Minnesota deer?
No, they're not corn fed.
I got you right. So corn fed. So, what made you say no to the super farm? Did you go to any classes after that one?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I had did the super farm for a couple years. I enjoyed it. That super farm class kind of originated up our way, and it grew, and I just couldn't believe how fast it grew, and it was super, super competitive in the early 2000s. I mean, you had to be on your A game, and I thought, maybe we can go jump up a couple classes. So I bought a diesel super, and I run a 4-charger diesel super for a couple years.
That's a step. That's not a step.
It was a jump.
Somebody sent you.
Somebody
sent you out the Cannonball.
So you guys, I live up by the Esden Lane kid.
Oh, copy.
So that's the kid that talked me into it.
There was a driving force. Hey guys, there's a driving force behind you joining that class.
Yeah.
And so from there you went into the sled. What was your first event, if you remember, or your first time? Did you ride along? Because you guys have a small. I'm going to call it like a 10-year-old could sit in that seat, right?
There's no seat there.
I thought you had a little
is
jump
a toolbox.
That's a console. Oh. I always thought it was a jump seat, like some of our tractors at home where you fold it down. I didn't realize that's a toolbox.
There is another company that has sleds that they're from Missouri, and they have jump seats in their sleds. So they call it operators training area.
Copy that. That's a classification. Okay, so I won't fit in there with you to ride.
No.
So
we got to be really cozy. I don't know you that well.
Yeah, and I mean after one full session at 90+ degrees out here today. So today's conditions. Let's talk about Rockwell's conditions.
Sure.
They had a lot of moisture, and actually whenever they just went and disked it after the session to re-level, there was a lot of moisture below the surface. They just weren't getting down to it, and it wasn't coming up.
Right.
Very breezy today, dried off the top, and those guys were spinning on top. How was your read on that track?
I was very surprised, and it's a good thing they had the moisture that they had down in the track, because it helped the guys that were maintaining the track today for us. It really helped them, because he was having a hard time keeping up. Well, he honestly wasn't keeping up. The sun and the wind was working so much against him.
Beating him up.
Yeah. He was just he was struggling. But, I mean, he was doing everything that he could. So, what can you say? I mean, the guy, he's out there busting his hump.
I think his name's Brad, the guy who runs it for the Lions Club here at Rockwell, and with Tim and one of their committee groups. But so you jumped into a sled cold turkey. So hey, I got the first session here tonight. You, Donnie, you stick with this. I got a microphone. I'll send you down there. You and I switch. Think
There you go.
Would Vaughn notice?
Oh, he probably would. He'd probably look up in the cab and go, wonder how this is going to go.
Yeah.
If the sled settings didn't reveal it first.
Right, yeah. My sled settings, I'm like, let them reach.
Right.
We're touching barriers tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
How did you get into it the very first time? Do you remember your first event? Or was it
It was like a state level event. See, you're well, I don't know how the rule book reads now, but it used to be you had to do so many state events before you could do a regional event, and so many regional events before you could do a grand national.
Oh, as an
event.
operator.
As an operator,
Okay.
because we do have to have a license. So it's very similar to a driver's license.
I wasn't very aware.
Yeah.
Wonder if I could pass that test.
I'll bet you
have to
could.
leverage. You have to leverage somebody, right?
I'll bet you should.
What in the sleds do you find the most challenging about it operating? What's your part challenging?
The most challenging part?
Yeah.
Well, basically the most challenging part is reading the track for everybody, because if you miss, then you miss it for everybody. You know,
Okay.
so you got that weight. That whole weight is on your shoulders, and nobody likes to miss.
Right,
you know?
right, yeah. But you smile. You smile
Well,
more
you
than
got your
most
hat.
guys in a high-pressure situation. I think as poolers, I'm not going to say we take for granted, but we take for granted you're going to get it right. So, in my opinion, we don't suffer a consequence, right?
Right.
You can build a vehicle to run once and be frustrated you've got to come back around because they do a sled reset, or you can build a vehicle that might be able to endure that just in case. There's almost ways you could have designed or built your vehicle.
Right.
So when you look at classes, what's the most? What class carries the most? Like you literally bring out the big guns.
Oh, well, you're loaded up the heaviest for your semi class and your unlimited class.
They're a similar setup in your.
Yeah, they're pretty similar. Usually the unlimiteds will carry a couple more.
Is that a speed thing or is that a traction item?
It's horsepower and traction, I think. You
Okay.
know, that 30-inch tire, they're a semi is 20,000 pounds, and that unlimited is they're either 78 or 8. I don't remember what they are, but they're quite a bit lighter. But they got that big back tire,
Gotcha.
They're turning that tire
So
hard.
and that, if I recall, I think that tire's 100+ mile an hour on
Yeah.
the rear end.
Yeah.
And then
It is.
the cut is about as thick as my pinky, but it's turning so hard, grabbing so much surface area,
Right.
that's propelling you down the track.
Correct. It's basically friction that propels them down the track. That's all
Okay.
it is.
So when I look at a sled, I don't see any suspension on there. Is it a rough ride?
Oh. Buddy, it can beat you to pieces.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It can be, and then another day on another track, it can be smooth. You can sit back and have a sandwich and drink a Coke, and no big deal. But
All depends on the track, huh?
It does. It depends on what the dirt is like that you're working with.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily, I mean, the great crew out here today, I mean, it looks like you'll have a pretty fairly smooth ride.
It's been very smooth here.
Yeah.
Been very smooth here. Been wonderful.
So Tim, who was here who's the president of the local Lions Club, said they brought in, I forgot, I'm going to relegate it, but 100+ tons of clay. And it was really tight for a few years.
Yes.
And tight can tend to be a rougher ride, more abrasive on your equipment, which I assume takes almost the most wear, as well as the vehicle, coming to a stop or a dead stop or binding in tight, and so driveline issues.
Mm-hmm.
They've since gone a direction of visiting other facilities and taking input from other professionals and added organics back to these facilities. What do you view as ideal? Yeah, I'm okay. Come on, no one's listening.
I guess
Just whisper it to me.
Yeah, whisper it. I have pulled into a place that has had mobile bleachers, and I'm like, "Where's the track?" And you're looking around, and it's this farmer's hayfield, and it's got hay growing on it. Well, it's going to be over there, huh? And sometimes that's been the best track we've ever
Works out.
pulled on, just because of the organics in it.
This was originally hayfield and had soybean on it just a week or two ago. I followed on their social media. You can follow along on the social media as well. We hope you'll join us on the $39.99 full pull live show as well, the streaming show. This one's available to you complimentary. This is Donnie Bower from the Bower Built Sleds and one of the primary sled operators. Do you use switch sleds? So I know Chris Biggs,
Yeah,
nickname,
Big.
because he's
huge. He's bigger.
He's tiny.
He's tiny. They make fun of us. It says it looks like that movie Twins. With
Absolutely.
Danny
Absolutely.
yeah, that's what they make fun of us
But you're
about.
still a very tall guy as well. So, do you operate primarily which sled?
It's the red sled.
You're in the red.
Yeah, they built the red sled for me.
And so back before, Chris was he's in the purple sled now, is that right?
Well, it's the black one. This is the new one.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah.
But he used to be purple.
It used to be purple. That was his color.
He used to operate the purple
Yep,
sled.
that was his color.
Really?
Yep. Vaughn's got the green one.
That's what he's operating?
That's his color.
So who's in you have an orange, I think. Is that correct?
The orange one went out to Ohio.
Okay. What's the fourth one right now?
The mini sled.
Oh, yeah.
Vaughn likes his minis.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Like I've seen that, like when he's prepping his mini with like 5 to go in a class, and he's already in it, and he's got the air conditioner cranked.
Oh yeah.
He's presetting, he's checking it, and he's leaf blowing it off to get all the dust off it, so it shows well.
Yeah.
He's particular about his equipment, which is also good because it shows a quality reference with what you guys are bringing to the table in a professional organization with NTPA.
Yeah, we hope so.
You know what I mean? Like it shows quality. It emanates a level of professionalism that we all want to pursue.
Sure.
I still don't even have T-shirts for my tractor. It's just that thing. I'm like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? When you start thinking about performance versus show versus go, and I keep opting for go instead of show. But I'll get there someday. What is where do you see the evolution of sleds heading, trending?
Oh, I think the manufacturers are working hard every day on tires, engines, turbochargers. They work hard every day, and we don't get that. We get like one winter. We get a winter to put a sled together.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's try this.
Gotcha.
And we rarely tweak on it during the summer. We'll just, if we're going to build one, we'll build one, and that's how the red one kind of came about. That one was the first one of change.
Adding some changes in that you saw with
we thought would work better,
predicated by the competition.
Right.
Are you satisfied with the changes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
we keep winning, so I mean,
yeah, I win every time.
Yeah, if there's an award, I guess we got to give him one.
Right.
So you mentioned the mini sled. Other than size, what's the difference between a big sled, a full-size sled, and a mini sled?
Well, a mini sled is just it's not even half. It's less than half the size, So it's got everything is smaller about it.
Mm-hmm.
And years ago, we used to be able to pull like Super Farm class with the mini sled, but they make too much horsepower now. That just it doesn't have enough of a pan underneath of it to get them stopped.
So, but there are some lighter 4-wheel drive trucks. Or is their ground speed too great for that as well? Then
no,
because maybe the power to weight ratio would give you.
Yeah, that's where it is. It's the power to weight ratio that gets off. But like if you go to a county fair, you could take that to the county fair and do all right with it.
Do you guys have a social media site that you know of where guys could become fans of the sleds?
Fans of the sleds.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
So
we need to talk to Lori about that. Let's get her involved.
So in saying that, like you go to other entertainment shows and competitions, and I'm going to mention the PBR. That for the first 4 seconds you're screaming for that bowl, like buck him off.
Right.
For the last 4 seconds you're like, holy crap, he's almost made it. Hold on tight.
Right,
Hold on
right.
tight. Where they sell as many model in clay and fluffy stuffies bowls as they do rider apparel.
Sure.
I think Vaughn could open up a merchandising trailer like we have the NTPA trailer over here, and we have the Full Pull Live trailer over there, the Beer Money Pulling Team merch trailer over there. I think Vaughn could jump into one of these trailers and start selling some swag because you always win. Like the shirt could be like, "We never lose."
Right. Yeah.
Right.
That's a good slogan.
Right. Yeah. Brought to you by
we're gonna
Donnie and Big. And how many
Right.
operators do you guys have? How many? You guys rotate 3 or 4 on some of these Grand Nationals.
It's basically me and Big and Vaughn that do the operating now. We got a guy back at or they have a guy back at home that works for them on the farm, or Adam works for Adam.
Yeah.
And he comes along every now and then, and he'll jump in a sled. He can run one.
Gotcha.
So, and Vaughn's son-in-law Scotty, he can run one too. If he
So
has
I think I think Scotty operated and I thought there was an orange sled years back at Bowling Green.
Okay.
But
Well, that might have been Maynard or Christopher.
That was it.
Maynard.
Yeah. That was the nickname.
Yeah, Maynard.
So, do you guys? I think as a competitor, I almost look at when I run your sled, I can expect something if I run with Chris, I can expect something sometimes slightly different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're different.
I think that's unique.
We are
I
different.
like that about pooling, that it is not exactly the same, and it may be how they choose the gear or where they put the trip or how many weights are in a box or I'm going to say the push down.
Yeah.
Is the push down adjustable as well? When you talked about getting the back of that sled, letting it relax, and then as well as raising the rear of the sled where those rear tires are off the ground. Is that one adjustable as well for how quickly?
It is to a degree. You can adjust
percentage-based.
the hydraulic. You can adjust the hydraulic pressure, and you can kick the back end of the sled up quicker.
Okay.
Or slower.
And normally that would be predicated by the class, the speed, or just the setting that you come to the event with, or during the event.
No, you can adjust during the event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
No, that sled's fully adjustable. You can do some pretty amazing things if you have to.
I think we take it for granted as viewers, as us watching, how much goes into the preparation, the build, the operation of that vehicle that takes. Well, we had well over 100 hooks here this afternoon. Had 100 hooks last night, plus tonight, tomorrow, the next day. The abuse that vehicle's going to take, and the amount of adjustments you'll have to keep up with to keep the competition, the event strolling.
Right. We do have a backup sled if something would go wrong.
Yeah, that's good to hear too. Yeah, we don't. Well, hopefully never get to that one.
We don't want to get to that.
Is it easier to hook to? Is it easier to pull?
Well, I don't know. You guys used to
Can I
pull
take
it
that
for
one?
years. The
Yeah,
green
let's
one.
put that one back out.
Put
Yeah,
the green
that
one back on the track.
Well, just for my hook and bump it into gear for me.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I'm just saying, what would it
I
take for you to
see.
bump it into gear? Just let
see.
it roll with me a little bit.
There you go.
Is there anything we forgot to ask you wanted to get across?
I think so. I mean,
Details? Like living in Minnesota, travel a lot.
no woman.
I was about to taunt you a little bit and be like, I've got an Instagram profile, I got a Facebook page. You can reach out to DM me. DM it. Donnie Bower,
There you go.
the biggest, baddest guy on this event, hasn't lost a hook yet this season. Send him a DM. But thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate your
great.
time. We'll badger you, Chase Diamond and myself. We'll badger you for information, and we're always trying to gain knowledge that we can give to the viewers at home.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
You
And
bet.
we look forward to catching up to you
Thank
tonight.
you very much.
Get a
Fun.
cold drink,
Yeah.
maybe
there
a
you go.
shower
There you go.
in case we come in to visit.
Yep.
Thank you, Donnie.
You
Have
bet.
a great one.
Take care.
Take care, boss.
See ya.
We're going to be joined here with Dave Whan. Dave. Thank you, sir. Go ahead and plop that on your head there, boss. And they're adjustable.
Oh, yeah.
Bring that microphone so it almost touches that Fu Manchu. Yep, there you go. Comfortable?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'm about to make you uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah? No, I'm fine.
What's your expectations for the rest of this season for your vehicle? I'm going to go right to the heart of it.
Well, hey, everybody wants to do well. You'd like to win Grand National Championship. Been runner-up once. Finished 4th last year. But, no, I told my wife, you just got to be consistent and go from there.
So where did you get started in pulling? Because we all know you as a super farm competitor, and I'm curious to see. What was the jump from the lower level stuff to a super farm?
Well, when I was a junior in high school, I guess I went to county fair and pulled farm stock, and then
What year was that?
that had to have been 1971, and from there, just started pulling like farm altered. And my father-in-law, he's passed now, but we had a International 1066. It was the first diesel tractor he ever purchased, and he says, we're going to convert that to a pro stock.
Wait, you took it off the farm to
Yeah.
pull with it?
Yeah, and from there, we pulled pro stock until we got to the point where I thought, we can't keep up with these people. We're gonna build a super farm motor.
So what year was that?
Oh, in 07, we started
Okay.
building a super farm motor. But it was like in late 90s we were pulling pro stock. And
What
Yeah.
drew you to that? What drew you to pro stock originally?
there was no super farm, it was just the next big jump. A lot of strong competitors back then, Carl Smith.
Yeah, give us some of that history.
Yeah.
And-
Norm Weir.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Just a lot of good old Good old tractor pullers.
Where are you from?
Tipton, Michigan.
Born and raised?
Yes.
Still live there?
Yes.
Farmer by trade?
Yes. My grandsons are 8th generation on the home farm. They settled there in 1832. So
That's commendable.
yeah. I don't know, 70 years old. I never thought I'd still be doing this, but
But
here we are.
So when you got started, what was the horsepower compared to of those
my.
tractors compared to your super farm now?
Oh, man. Jeez. I knew when we built the Super Farm in 07, we made more horsepower, than we did as a pro stock at the time, We broke that 1,000 horsepower level, and it just seemed like every year there was advancement, technology and turbos, injection pumps. You just get to a point you think, gosh, 1,300 horse, Now we're here at 1,700 plus, and it's just
You're at 17? No wonder I can't get by this guy.
crazy.
I mean,
It's just it's crazy. And then you hear 1,800 horsepower numbers.
yeah,
so.
there's guys tickling them
Yeah.
numbers. Yep.
Yep.
You use what service do you use for your vehicle?
What do you mean, like service?
Yeah. Who builds? Who? Where do you get your parts
Oh.
from? And you know what I mean. Let's.
Sound Beam Performance.
Yep.
Major part of our engine building. Chad Mayhill.
Oh yeah.
Done my tire business with him for years. Yeah, but Sound Beam Performance were the.
So when you look at the evolution of Super Farm, and we get picked on a bit because we're a bit critical because our rules are that narrow. So every little bit counts.
Right.
Where do you think the next evolution of gains will be?
Well, there could be gains if NTPA decided to allow coolers. You might gain some, but there's pros and cons of that too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So, but there's still always a big. There's some big changes still coming in the turbo industry, I believe.
So we're finding like refinement in things. And,
Yes. Yes.
Clay molding to specking and things
Yeah.
like that are
Right.
developing
Right.
existing parts. So
Yes.
everything from the way that a valve or a lifter
Right.
maybe hitting or
Right.
ratios in those.
Oh yeah.
Camshaft technology.
Yep. Different cams, different head design. I mean, it all plays a part. Yeah.
What do you find is the most challenging in Super Farm?
Oh boy, everything's so tight.
Dealing with
we
me.
could pull 20 tractors, and 15 of them could be within 3 foot of each other. I mean, you can't miss a beat. You can't miss your setup.
Yeah.
Everything just has to go right, and you got to have a good draw.
Okay.
It's very important. But I don't know. It's a challenge. Keeps going.
So you've been pulling, quite a few years in the Super Farm.
Yeah.
Your tractor evolved with the class as well. Do you ever see yourself jumping up to another class?
No.
What's the reason?
My wife.
She said no. She says no. No pro stock, right?
Stay married.
Right. Yeah. I says, well, it'd be fun to run one of them minis sometime.
Yeah.
She said, no, I would. No, you think so.
So if you weren't running a Super Farm, just us talking here, what would be a class you'd want to get into? Or at least, what's a vehicle you'd want to get behind the driver's seat of?
Probably a mini.
A Mini.
Yeah. Probably a mini.
Tell me why though.
Vermont. It just seems like the weight to horsepower ratio would be quite a rush.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a trip.
Would be.
Do you So tell me what's next on Dave's horizon?
Oh, from this pull?
Yeah. Well, what are you expecting tonight? So we're currently complimentary on Full Pull Live's Facebook page,
Right.
YouTube page. So this is a complimentary show, and we're encouraging people to be able to, enroll in $39.99. You can watch tonight's show
Right.
and watch Dave.
Yeah, it's a great venue here. You're going to see excellent, top quality pulling. I don't know. It'd be something you really wouldn't want to miss for that kind of money.
Yeah.
In your own home.
And we're an hour and a half now from event time. So if you're
Right.
within 1 hour and 20 minutes, you still can see the first hook.
Right.
Economical. They have tiered price points for kids at 15, kids at 10. Like it's a family event,
Definitely.
family-friendly event,
Definitely
right?
it is.
So if they're within an hour and they're watching on their phone and going,
Yeah.
they might as well come. I said might as well come and enjoy what this facility has to offer.
Yeah.
A vendor row. How, since the years you've been coming here, and I don't recall when they first started, 19 years ago, 17 years ago, what do you think the evolution of this place has been?
Oh, just the advancement and how they handle everything, you know. I mean, they do an excellent job of scaling you and getting you staged. It's very orderly.
So the flow based off the pit
Yes.
area, which I saw
Yeah.
whenever I visited with you just slightly a little bit earlier this afternoon. I think it's 3 rows. I don't even know how long each row is, 3 or 4 rows, and they're doubled in.
Oh, yeah.
So we're really looking at 6 rows,
Right.
2, 4, 6 rows of competing vehicles. They were out of spots, and guys were parking out on the road. And we had Tim here from the Rockwell guys, the Rockwell Chamber, the Rockwell Lions.
Right.
And he said they thought they had enough pit road, and they thought they'd never use it, and now they're looking at it going,
Yeah.
full.
What do we do?
Where
Yeah.
are we going next?
That's right.
So they're going to have to go beyond the shower facilities that are out in
yeah.
that northeastern corner. They have to go beyond the shower facilities pretty
Yeah.
soon.
Right.
But they offer a little bit of everything. Breakfast in the morning.
Yes,
you're
sir.
going to buy pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
It's church donation.
Yes, it is.
Bring your wallet.
It'll be great.
Okay.
It'll be
And
great.
so with tonight, what is your hook number?
I believe we hooked 16
Okay.
out of 19, so we're towards the end of the class.
Okay.
I'm happy with that draw.
And then because you're hoping, as Super Farm, we tend to talk about builds a road, and you're hoping
Yeah.
to drive out the end of the road.
Oh, yeah.
And you are attempting wins or Grand National Championship. Can you do both?
Oh, boy. That you should be able to. Yeah. Last time I won was here
1 year ago.
a year ago when our second session we won, and I don't know.
Are you hungry for it?
Yes, I am. Always.
So I challenged you a little bit earlier today when we talked. Dave, you're always competitive at our next very large event. The
Bowling Green.
Yeah, Bowling Green is similar to this one.
Yeah.
Like it's facilities.
Yes.
It just has a little. This one currently has a little less pomp and circumstance. Bowling Green has a ring.
Oh, yeah.
You tend to tie one
Yeah.
on us at Bowling Green. Your wife said to me today, she goes, it's luck.
Yeah.
Come on. And I was it's not plausible.
Yeah.
You've
We've
got
been
more than that.
very blessed at Bowling Green. I don't know. I really try to do nothing out of the ordinary from what we usually do.
Yeah.
But I always thought, boy, if you could ever run a ring there, that would be great. And
How many rings do you have?
we've won 3.
Yeah. Wow.
And we'd have won 4
Mm-hmm.
if it wouldn't have been for the championship Sunday.
Yes.
Because we were top qualifier and we'd have got the ring, but we went into a pull-off on Sunday and we ended up, I think, 3rd or 4th. So
He's referring
It
to
was great.
Championship Sunday of the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
They added a Sunday, which
Yep.
years ago they had Championship Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
For the 50th anniversary, they brought that back, and
Right.
just the
Yes.
the wagon went left.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. But
Excuse me.
great. No, it's Bowling Green. I remember going there as a kid.
Yeah.
I think, boy, I just kept thinking someday it'd be nice to compete here. And to be able to do that is.
So people say that here about the Rockwell Lions Club here in Rockwell, Iowa, and coming here. How would you encourage fans to want to come here? What would you say? How would you sell it?
Well, it's a venue where you're going to see top competitors across the nation from all over. I mean, from the East Coast to the West Coast to North to South. I mean, they're here. I mean, I don't know what else you'd want.
Yeah.
So you've been in polling for quite a few years. Where do you see polling in the future? I mean, in 10, 15 years. We asked the sled guy this, and it'd be nice to get your input on it as well.
Well, my hopes is that in 10 years, we're still seeing black smoke.
Oh, right. Because there's a push
Yeah.
that, environmentally friendly items and things like that. But this is a
there's
motorsport.
nothing like the smell of diesel fuel. and
Right.
Smoke.
Well, we don't. You still farm. You're a grain farmer, if
Yep.
I'm mistaken.
Milk cows.
Yep.
My son does that.
But
and,
but to be real, our tractors at home don't do what this do. This is a
No.
performance situation where
Right.
exception to a scenario.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
So I got to pry because I just saw over my shoulder. Do you think he's listening in?
oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Him and I go back and forth. quite a lot,
Exactly.
and
So
we share a lot
I'm
of
referring to
stuff.
Lee Butts, who's pulling up a seat. He
Yeah.
I probably can't coax him on the set.
Yeah.
Lee, do you want to come and talk? You want to come and chat? We want to get to the bottom of how your tractor's running.
Yeah.
Come and join us for a few moments.
Yeah.
Pick up that headset over there,
Yeah.
Chase, if you could, and just see if
Yeah.
Lee was. And pull up a stool for him. Slide over there near Chase, right beside your buddy.
Yeah.
So when I started, and I don't remember what year, you and Lee really, I felt, gave me a lot of insight, knowledge that I did not have or could not gain without 10 or 15 years. You know what I mean? Like I would have had to been here 10 or 15 years. You guys were, I'm going to say, statesmen of the Super Farm class, and led me down a path that I feel like it let me achieve more faster than I could have had I been on my own, because I think you two are thick as thieves sometimes.
Yeah.
Lee, describe your relationship with Dave. Bring that microphone right down to your tip of your lips.
Well, this is what tractor pulling is all about. We just I seen him pull in Armada, and he had this goofy trailer with he had to let the air out of the tires to get his, and I always wondered what kind of character that was. And now him and I are best friends.
Yeah.
They just our beliefs are a lot alike.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of Christian belief out in this sport, and we like to feel that we're spreading the word a little bit. Maybe, you know. But
So in referring to that, the name of your tractor,
press on.
Yeah.
tell me about why you call it Press On.
Well,
Tell the people who are watching. Absolutely.
when in 2006, I had cancer, stage 4 lymphoma, and we didn't know. I didn't think I'd ever get to see my grandkids or anything. I thought, you know, when they mentioned cancer, it scared the daylights out of me. But that song was popular back when the towers went down, and when I had my stem cell transplant, we played that song, and it's just press on, and that's what I did in life. Is
Moving forward, pressing on.
Yep. Yep.
Tell me about your tractor and how you got started, please. Where did it start?
I got started I come back from Vietnam in 1968 and built a H farm all with a V8 in it. And we pulled modifieds up until 83.
What was a modified back then? What was that configuration?
It started out, like I say, with an H with a 283 in it. And then we built an H with a 427 in it. And then we went to an F20, we underswung it, put a 427 in it. And then we blowed the 427. And then we built a cock shop, put the 427 in it. And then we went to a log skidder and put twin blown Chevys in it. That was our final mod.
And where'd you go from there?
I was coming home, the tractor would be broke, and the kids had things going on, and I said, enough's enough. So
Too much breaking.
I stopped and raised my kids.
Yep.
And then in 2008, when I was fighting cancer, a friend of mine in church had watched me pull all the years he was a kid when I was pulling, and he asked me if I wanted to go in on a tractor with him. So we bought this Super Farm tractor, and 2 years into it, his wife didn't care for the sport, and I bought him out. Here I am now, still going around.
I'm out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Region 2 is very Michigan, Ohio oriented. I would follow your results religiously to the point when I finally got to meet you, it was a little bit of like a aha moment. So what drives you to tractor pull?
I'm a retired farmer, and through all I've been through, it gives me something to do. I have a shop out there, and I do all the work myself. You know, a lot of these pullers are all hired done and stuff like that, but as I build most of my stuff myself.
I've purchased items from you. Yeah, I'm a parts changer. I'm not the mechanic. I cannot develop machine, and I noticed you do that. You have air ride front ends, and I saw you have new trick scenarios in your vehicle that we'll talk about on the show tonight, but you got to log in, tune in, that you've got some advancements in your vehicle. And I just had something. I'd be remiss to not say thank you for your service. So I appreciate that. And I think you were as well. I didn't want to miss that. Where do you see the evolution of this sport moving forward? And you also So this is where the squirrel in me, talking to me usually. Your grandkids also hook your tractor regularly.
Yeah,
You've got to.
I got 3 of them that's driven it now, but the little guy that's with me, Ty, he's been with me since he was 3 years old. He never got homesick or anything. We'd go for 3-4 days, and he just would stay with us, and he loved pulling. And my goal is to get him in the seat. He's 14 now, so I got 2 more years.
I need pedal extensions at this point. But he
Yeah.
eats his Frosted Flakes every morning.
He'll grow.
Yeah.
What's your How do you find the evolution of the sport? Where do you see it going?
I don't know.
Okay.
I really can't. Some of this stuff they're coming up with now is scary to me.
Okay.
But that's just my thought. I come from a background of pulling where we'd get home at 3 in the morning and work on it till 5 in the morning to go to the next night, and plus have to go to work. And I don't see that in this sport. I see a lot of them. They break, they call somebody to fix it. Where I don't have that privilege, and Dave don't have that privilege.
We grew up in an era at a time where before there was dynos.
Oh yeah.
Our dynos was the next tractor pull we went to.
Yes.
We'd change something. It might take us 5, 6, maybe all summer to figure something out, that we just try something different every time we hooked to the sled.
Yep.
Dynos was a big change in tractor pulling.
In the development of the performance
Yes.
and the durability.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when we pulled modifieds, we go to a pull and we pull 5, 7, and 9. We throw them weights every night. We take and we get done pulling 9, and we'd load it. We get to the next pull, we pull all them weights off.
Yeah.
Pull 5, 7, and 9.
And then in one of those classes, it would run really well, better than maybe the other 2 classes with the gear ratio or the tires or whatever.
We had different gears for different classes. We were competitive in all 3.
Yeah.
We don't pull if we're not competitive.
So if you had to handicap Dave's tractor, what would you take from him so we could all beat him?
The driver.
Okay. So I just need something like, and you, come on, what would you take away from Lee?
Well, I don't know. I've drove Lee's tractor, and I drove several other tractors. I drove the Ferris tractor. I drove the Silsby tractor.
Yeah. Yeah, you filled in for John when he was sick.
Yes, and I drove Plastic Money.
Oh, yeah.
And every
Bensinger's
tractor. Yeah, every tractor I've drove, I always tell them, I says, boy, mine really seems to be like a handful when I get back on it. I says, your tractors are put together so tight, and it's great.
And to tell the audience, you're a great storyteller, number one, but you also like practical jokes and fun love.
Oh, yeah.
So when, we have water injection systems and we inject water, and we got to a point where we started to limit the types of water we allowed. And you every now and then would be like, dump a bottle of green dye into your water just to get a couple guys to see you dumping it in to mess with the crowd, right?
Yes,
like practical joker.
Yes,
like you enjoy some of those.
And somebody would say, what is that green water? I says, I don't know, but it makes horsepower. He goes, it really makes horsepower? I says, yeah. I'm fixing an injector that blew out last night. I says, I never had that happen before. But it was 2 or 3 weeks before I says, well, it was just a couple ounces of green dye.
Just colored our water. Because guys start to talk and chatter. And we're like, how did he get the advantage? And then, so what do you...
Back to that, we were in North Carolina, and he was pouring the water, and these guys are standing, their eyes are about this big around. They didn't want to say nothing. I'll never forget the look on their faces when he was pouring that green
I love
water.
this camaraderie, and I think, I see you guys as a great duo for polling as well, as stewards of the sport, of letting people know what's, that this is a community.
Yes.
And as well as, the Christian faith and how, Lee makes me a better person. I speak out of turn, and he'll be like, he just corrects me, and I appreciate that and look up to both of you guys for that.
Well, the thing with our sport is, I know how happy I was when I got my first win at a regional event. And when I see new pullers get their first win or something, you got to be elated for them. You had that feeling that you remember when they got. So you got to be happy for them. I'm just as happy for them people that win as I do, because we're all in this together. I mean, you can win an event one night and the very next night be dead last. That's just the way tractor pulling is. So
you guys both at Bowling Green, I'm going to say I snuck out a win, and Lady Luck was with me.
Yeah.
and I might have went to bed very early in the morning, and it must have been 40 minutes later. You guys standing outside with a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Come on, son, let's go for a walk. Let's talk a little bit. And I was like,
You're great.
the mentor of the sport speaks. I jumped out, and we went for a walk around
Yes,
the
sir.
facility a little bit and chatted
Yes,
with
sir.
it. But I enjoy you guys being a part of the sport. I hope it perpetuates for many more years to come. And thank you for coming on the show. And, Lee, thanks for letting me ambush you and drag you in here. So I know that viewers, we didn't give you much time today.
That's fine with me.
But I'd love to do a sit-down, and we do driver profiles and driver chats on the Full Pull Live Chats page. I'd love to sit down with you because I know I do.
Yeah.
And some guys are class dependent or tractor dependent whenever they're fans.
Yeah.
And some people are driver dependent, not dependent, but fans.
Right.
I want to hear more of y'all's story.
Yeah.
And hit the social medias if you guys want to hear more as well. The more you guys mention and the popular you make it, we make it happen for you guys at home. So, Lee, thanks for joining us. Anybody you'd like to thank while we're up here?
The good Lord for letting me do this.
Yes.
Got me through cancer.
Yes.
And, it's just a blessing every day to be as healthy as I am for what I went through. God has been with me and I never want to lose that part of it.
All right.
I can win all the pulls in the world, but when that day comes, the Lord takes me home. That's the one I want to win.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Press on.
The one of the things that people at home will be interested. When I first met you, on the mornings of, you would find a local VFW, YMCA, or a church, and you'd go play basketball all morning long and shoot hoops and things like that. You'd invite us along, and I'd be like, I have too much work to do, like getting back to my tractor. I stayed up too late.
I'm still playing.
Are you still shooting the hoops?
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Yes,
I
sir.
do appreciate your time. It's a pleasure to compete against you as well as be friends with you as well.
you.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
Plop your headsets down. We're going to bring on some sponsors next. You stick around as viewership. No, you didn't. You don't have to, and we really appreciate your insight, Lee. Thank you, Dave. Good luck out there tonight. And coming up next, we've got sponsorships coming up, the class sponsors as well as title sponsors, NTPA title sponsors. We're going to be joined by Modern Machine, and they bring a lot to the table. We couldn't do it without them, right? So it's copy that. This is my notes. Look at it. My note girl shows up. So pull up a seat, throw your headset on. Yeah, absolutely.
Les Corporal.
Modern Machine.
He sometimes has 2 motors and sometimes he has 3. He's cool like that.
Right, but you assist a lot of the. I've already jumped in, and you don't even have your headset on. And I did get this text message from friends from home, and they're like, "Are you going to take a breath?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do under 100 words, 100 words per minute."
Go away. Les, buddy. Welcome to Countdown to Pull Time. How are you, buddy?
All right, how you doing?
Thank you for Modern Machine sponsoring, doing a social media sponsorship for the NTPA.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. Excited. We're going to have you on the live stream tonight as well. He's going to come and do the mini rods with us, Chase.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome to do that. Because how many chassis do you probably have in the class tonight? There's, 24 minis we had last night? Does that sound right, Chase?
Yeah, I think there's around 24.
Okay.
I think the last count we've built 27.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been a really good class for us. It's been growing. There's a lot of interest in it still. It's funny how you think after a while you build enough of them.
Yeah. But
people want new stuff. Yeah. So
What's the involvement like on a mini rod chassis? Because, that's a main component of one of those things. You've got your engine, you've got your drive line, really.
Yeah, and there's not a whole lot else.
Yeah.
The rest of it, you can pick it up and carry it, put it out in the truck, take it to powder coat.
Yep.
It's not too heavy. I think, I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking everything but the motor and the tires, the fenders, I think is like 800 pounds.
Wow.
So there's not a whole lot to it.
Well, the whole thing gets to weigh 2,050 with the driver.
Yeah. The motor is 900 pounds. So,
Yep.
I think that, back to your involvement thing, when we started out, everybody was running like an I can't think what they're called. I'm a little tired. I've been working hard. I'm a little tired. But, they was running a non-planetary rim. And we got involved because that's kind of what we do with the bigger tractors. So Brad and Derek in the shop there, they developed a planetary rear end. We sold several of those. Those guys put them in chassis that were already out there.
What year would that have been, roughly?
19,
okay,
maybe. And then one day I said, man, guys, why aren't we just building our own thing? So they come up with kind of the wedge tube like we run. It's kind of based off the the big tractor tube chassis that we build, wedge tube. Put it together. I think Brett Berg had maybe one of the first ones.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
Richardson's had an early one. Theobald's had an early one. Then the next involvement was those tractors. They'll take such a rough ride sometimes. Front end up and down, up and down. So we come up with an airbag, an air suspension front end, kind of like you'd see on a big diesel tractor, a Pro Stock, something like that.
Yeah, and so how much of that stuff comes down to the engineering, and how much is just trial and error?
Well, there's a lot of both. Give Brad credit. When we wanted that air ride to be right, we didn't want to get it out there on the circuit and then guys having trouble with it. Mm-hmm. So he mocked one up one winter, and we like beat that thing to death. We dropped it with the forklift and did everything we could to destroy it.
What are those contests with the cars? They go up and down. The shots. I'm tired too, Les.
Yeah,
we got one more session yet tonight.
So he had like a 900-pound lead weight, to represent the motor, and we dropped it, and banged it around. And,
see, they were doing it before it was cool.
Yeah.
Tried to tear it up. And,
Hydraulics.
Yeah.
Those cars, they bounce like this up and down the ground.
Yeah, so it was kind of like the test dummy car thing,
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, it worked out, and so far it's been a really good product for us.
Yeah.
It's worked good, so.
What else does Modern do for the pulling world? And do you do anything for the racing world, or is it all pulling, less?
It's pretty much all pulling. We've got some, I call them roundy-round guys come in, and we do some minor things for them, but it's 95% pulling, And then at Modern, the pulling part of it is only about 15%. So we do a lot of industrial work. We've got 25 guys or so that are just making factory parts, do a lot of packaging equipment. We do a lot of work for like the bucket trucks, like you see electric companies use.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of piggyback forklift, like you see on a Lowe's truck. We make a lot of parts for those. Just all kinds of crazy stuff.
Good deal.
We have a lot of RV stuff in Indiana, northern Indiana, so we do a lot of RV work.
Yeah.
So let's talk fun stuff. Let's talk pulling. Last night, the mod class, did the one of the motors must not have went.
Right.
And when you put three, because he puts 2 on for light mod, 3 on for modified. It just didn't sound like maybe that third one was even on at all, or didn't go.
Yeah, it's been, I just told, I think, Kevin Criswell this afternoon, I'm like, the next time I get on a roll, if there ever is, I'm going to celebrate with you because I'm telling you, we've been on the other end of it all year this year, and we had such a great year last year, and then this year we changed our motor combination, and it's nothing to do with the motors. It's just making everything work, So, on the light mod last night, it was taking everybody left. So
and you get sucked off to the right.
Yeah, it took me right. It took me right. So I shut it off to keep from wrecking it because I knew I was going to pull mod. And then in the mod class, I don't know, it just took off about 100-foot mark, the back motor shut off.
Yeah.
We changed the fuel system, changed all the electronics on it today, all the ignition stuff, and it made the best run I've made all year this afternoon.
It looked really good.
How long does it take you to throw on that extra engine?
Half hour, 20
That's
minutes.
it.
Yeah,
that's amazing to me.
Yeah,
half hour on, about 20 minutes off. Yeah.
So what goes into that? I mean, you drop the engine in. I mean, how are you connecting stuff? I mean, is there different, like, what goes into that?
Okay, well, we got 2 big plug-ins. It has one plug-in has all your to turn the motor on,
okay,
all electronics. The other one has a bunch of grounds in it. The grounds the motor, the fuel tank, everything is on that motor. You could literally have it sitting on the ground, put a starter in it, and start it. It would run. It's got what we call a stack gearbox. So it has a straight across gearbox with a little stack top on it. You just set that on top of the other gearbox. You put 8 bolts in it. You put 1 bolt in the front, plug it in, hook your kill switch, your throttle cable, your fuel shut off, boom, you're ready to go.
And you've got it down to a science then.
Yeah. It's not too big of a deal. Todd Feist and me are really good friends. Todd's got a Bobcat thing. He comes down, lifts it on and off. He's been great help. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we kind of got it figured out.
Well, in that way too, if you have an issue with an engine, I mean, if it's 45 minutes before pull time, technically, right, you could just throw another one on and get out there.
Yeah. We carry a spare with us upstairs.
Yeah.
And if we had to go to the spare, it might take us a little bit longer. You got to move stuff over. But yeah. So it's not
that's incredible.
Yeah,
awesome.
Not too bad.
Well, Les, thanks for coming on for Countdown to Pull Time.
Yeah.
We're going to have you at the booth tonight for sure for the mini rods chase. Yeah. Chase has been doing some trackside reporting. We're trying to just keep showing things that our live stream, our sports never seen before to take it to the next level. Les.
Yeah,
so.
I've had a lot of comments from people. They're really enjoying what you guys are doing. You're
Good.
doing a great job.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Awesome, Les. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Les.
Nice meeting you.
Les Corporal, everybody with Modern Motorsports, Modern Machine. We're going to bring you on now. I have with me the Superstock Diesel sponsor, Bob Kessler from New Fields Ags. And I have a Superstock Diesel guy. You want me to slide over? You going to center me? I kicked PK out real go because he was talking too much. So. Are you back in? You getting back in? Get back in the game.
I got the boot. But welcome to the show. But we want to make it look perfect. So slide this way for me. No, you this way.
Okay.
You slide more into the center, Mr. Newfields Ag. Thank you for being a sponsor. And Chase, come around just a little bit. And we're going to square up. Like, we have a beautiful Iowa fields in the background. The silos.
We got a grain bin, the American flag.
And everything we're stand for here. Oh, I can help you untangle there. Yeah, swing it around the front.
There you go.
Square you in.
We're trying to kill Bob.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I mean, he's got a great product, and we're just trying to get a hold of it at a discount. If we help him up, he'll be like, "Oh, you saved me.
You saved me.
Here's your 3% off."
You saved me from yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to leave you with these guys.
Thank you.
You going to take your headset with you? Or you gonna do that? So, Bob, welcome to Countdown to Pull Time.
Thank you.
Have you been to a truck and tractor pull before?
Not as a sponsor, but as not as a participant, but as somebody sitting in the bleachers.
Yeah. And do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I like the big machines. I'm a farm boy.
I like it. Where do you live?
Now I'm currently in southwestern Wisconsin, but we've got family has land up in
I live in
southern
Richland
Minnesota.
Center.
Do you?
Yeah, where do you live?
Fenimore.
High five. Chase is from Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
so that doesn't even
I'm
count.
the whole way out there. So,
Yeah.
Bob Kessler with Newfields Ag. They're a Superstock diesel sponsor. So big territory for you, or
I'm the vice president of sales and marketing.
So, yeah, you got the whole
business
thing.
development, so I got the
Got
whole
the whole thing.
Yeah.
that's cool.
so tell us a little bit about what Newfield Ag is.
We're the leading company in planter box biologicals.
Mm-hmm.
The application of biologicals into the planter box on the planter. Our CEO and president actually has a patent called Dust, and that is a bio inclusion carrier. So we are now including biologicals in that product and bringing out several different kinds of dry product specific to concerns and yield inhibiting things for the farmer.
Okay. So a lot of it comes down to the science behind it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Nice.
Well, that's one thing. We're hearing biologicals a lot more in
Yep.
farming. For the longest time it was snake oil or
Yeah.
or whatever. I heard bugs in the box and all the different things like that. And really, I think people are really stepping up, and the numbers are there, the ROI is there. You're really hearing about it a lot more. So
Yeah, it's something we have to, it's pushing against us all the time, right?
Yep.
But one thing that we're farmer focused, and so we won't release something unless we have an 80% or better win rate in our research and development area. And so that shows that 8 out of 10 years, the farmer is going to show a positive result from our products.
nice. I like that a lot. How long you been with Newfields Ag?
A little over a year.
Okay. Where were you at before?
I was running different companies. I've been with Best Buy. I've been with Monsanto. Different
Nice.
operations.
So how many, like when you're the vice president or basically director of sales, how many people are working underneath you that are out representing you?
We have a large network of independent sellers.
Sure.
Employee-wise, we've got 4 or 5 full-time employees, but each one of those full-time employees then runs a full network. State of Iowa might have 100, 200 dealers, distributors in his network, and we sell into 35 states.
Oh, wow.
3 or 4 foreign countries right now.
Yep.
And the company is only 3 or 4 years old.
Oh, really? Okay. Where did it get started at? Where's it based out of?
It's based out of Grand Mound, Iowa.
Okay.
Down by DeWitt.
Yeah.
If anybody knows eastern
Absolutely.
part of the
Yep.
part of
Kind
the
of that Quad Cities area down there.
Yep, even a little further north. Yeah.
I was in Mendon, Illinois last weekend announcing a tractor pull down by south of Hannibal,
Yeah.
so I drove
Yeah.
up through there.
Yeah.
So Mount Pleasant up there,
Yeah.
through that area there.
Yeah. We like to joke that's where our world headquarters is.
I like that world headquarters.
in Grand Mound, a population of 52 or
I was
something.
gonna say there's probably not even a gas station there. No. How is the crop looking for I've heard a lot. My dad farms in Iowa. He lives in Cedar Rapids. He's got about 1,500 acres. He talked to a lot of different pullers from all over the Midwest, and some are still really wet, and some are they're still dry.
Yeah.
And then I just see the markets and the prices, and what are you hearing from your customers?
Well, I've been traveling a lot because we've been having a lot of regional meetings.
Okay.
Been in Nebraska, just got back from South Dakota. I'm from Wisconsin, so I drive through northern Iowa. Northern Iowa looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
Really, really good. You go not too far north, I-90 freeway area in
Just
Minnesota,
wet.
it looks terrible.
Yep.
All the way across. Nebraska looks really good. South Dakota is not good. A lot of rain, a lot of prevent planting. So it really depends on where you're at.
Yeah, it's crazy the weather. I mean, the farmers, they go so hard, and I just every time I'm at home and I see a windstorm coming through Iowa or whatever. That my dad was in that drought show or whatever called. or
Yeah.
Duratio, I don't know how you
Duratio,
say it.
yeah. Yeah.
He actually laid underneath like a gravity wagon, and like the roof came off his shed, and it was crazy
Wild.
how that came up
Yeah,
and just
straight
come
line
to it
winds.
and just can just demolish cornfields.
Yeah, you know, I was talking with someone the other day, and if you really think about it as a farmer, if you start farming at 20 years old, you really maybe only have 40 times of your life to really have everything perfect, to try to make everything, to maximize everything. If you go to a factory, you can maximize tomorrow, I'll do better, next day. But as a farmer, and so we really are here for the farmer to help them maximize their production. Because when corn is sub 4, beans are sub 11, it's those extra bushels that is going to be your only profit.
Yeah.
It's not going to be cutting costs. It's going to be those extra bushels that you maximize, 10, 12, 15 bushels. That's the only profit that you might have.
Yeah.
So if I'm a farmer wanting to get into using these type of biologicals, do you guys offer some kind of support system as well?
Well, like I said, we do have dealers out there.
Okay.
We do have distributors that are.
Well, that's awesome. They can help along the way.
They are very local. We have a really deep website that has. We did webinars every Wednesday morning for about 5 months on product.
Wow.
And applications and what it goes to and things like that. So they can go onto our website at any time and look at those webinars and learn about the product, how to apply them, different things like that.
Well, that's awesome, especially for the guys who don't know a whole lot about it. They're jumping in. You guys are supporting them along the way, and that's awesome. So.
Well, we're trying to make things simpler, too, because we've had people say, can you just make it simpler for us? And so we are trying to do that, and our salespeople are really working at that.
Well, and even a company like you guys who are listening to the people as well. I mean, that's a huge advantage for, if I'm looking at a company where I'm going to purchase something off of, I want that support and I want the people that are going to listen too. So that's incredible. And I know people here are very gracious, with the support that you've given them. And
they're
the
a new sponsor.
pulling.
I think that's great as we see that come in. Our sport, the amount of money we spend on these vehicles, you know what I mean? So to have venues like this where we can actually get payback, I think our sport's it was up in the 80s, 90s, really strong. And it kind of, I don't know, there's so much stuff to do now. You know what I mean? There's 10, I guarantee within 30 miles here, there's 10 things to do for people with their family to do.
Yeah.
So you're really fighting for that entertainment dollar.
Yeah.
There was a time that the county fair, that was the one time you went to town, and you'd pack 10, 20,000 people into the tractor pull. Now it's, you got kids are in soccer and basketball and baseball, and there's a music concert, just all kinds of, mud bog, demo derby, all kinds of competition like that. So for us, for me to have a new sponsor come in, that makes me happy to do it. And then obviously our audience is your customer. You know what I mean? And a lot of your pullers are your customer too. I mean, there's no secret that ag background, most of the competitors are farmers. You know what I mean? And they do. I'm a mortgage lender. I'm one of the few that's not. So that's how it goes. So I want to do something fun with you. We've never done with a sponsor before, Bob. Because you're from Wisconsin, you got to be cool. Fenimore's a good little place there.
No, I'm originally from Minnesota, so
here we go.
No Packer questions.
No, I'm not going to do that because we dominate the Vikings. So okay. So we have full pull picks where we actually we're doing cash picks. Gambling on truck and tractor plane. So you don't know anything about these competitors.
I don't.
This is going to be fun. So this is going to be like my wife when she does an NCAA thing. So I'm going to read off a list of names.
You can tell me the color of their uniform?
Yeah. You tell me. You're going to pick two of these names that you like the best. Okay. I'm going to read off about 10 to 12. This is for the Diesel Superclass that you sponsor. Okay. Chance Encounter, Smoke and Mirrors, The Intimidator, Redline Fever, Diggin' Hard, Long Haul Harvester, Bone Twister, Lock and Load, Triple Bypass, Super Rooster, Just Another One, and Sleepless Nights. Give me two names out of that bunch that you like.
Was one Bone Picker?
Bone Twister.
Bone Twister. Yeah. And one with something bloody, something.
Bone Twister, Digging Hard, Redline Fever.
Redline Fever.
Redline Fever. That's like the 15-time Grand National Champion.
Oh, is it?
You did pretty good there. So you picked a 3-time Grand National Champion and a 15-time.
Where do I put my money down?
We got to do it. So that's fun. So we got other classes tonight. We got the Unlimited tonight. That's the guys with 4 and 5 engines on them. Okay, the ones you can plug your ears and still be 30 miles away and hear them. Yeah. So this is where we do heads to heads. So out of this bunch, who do you like? You only get to pick one. Nonsense, Foursome, Emax, or Cross-Threaded.
Cross-Threaded.
Okay, that's another good choice. Full-blown Wicked, Blown Scentless, or Giddy Up?
Let's do Giddy Up.
Giddy Up. I like these.
You might need to go place your bets.
Yeah, he did good. He did good. Pro Stock picks, we got, okay. So we're going to pick two out of this bunch again.
Okay.
Youngblood, Green with Envy, Mac Daddy, Billet Binder, Workhorse, Last Chance 2, Red Gambler, Loud and Heavy X, New Generation Plus, Mac Nasty, Injected Funds, Money on Black, and Loud and Heavy.
Let's do Mac Daddy since my kid loves mac and cheese.
I love it.
And the money one, third from the last.
Injected Funds.
Injected Funds.
Okay, that's your defending Grand National Champion, and the other Tractor's second in points. This guy's good.
Yeah.
I've never been to it before.
He's going to be on Full Pull US.
We're going to do that. And then let's go light super stocks. Again, we're going to pick 2 out of this bunch. Considered Armed and Dangerous, On the Edge, Ridge Runner, Bin Buster. Oh, he's going to like Bin Buster.
Yeah,
I know that already.
Let's call that.
Okay, one. And then I know the other one you're going to like already too. Let me find it here real quick. Yield Express.
There you go.
Those are the 2. That's done. So cool. Hey, Bob, thank you. Thanks for sponsoring the super stock class.
Thank you.
Nice talking with you.
And thanks for sponsoring NTPA.
All right.
So.
Take care. Have fun.
Yep. Are you here the rest of the weekend?
Yep. Should be.
You guys
fun
have a booth over there for crowd?
Yeah, we're over here.
Some people watch us on their way in, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So,
come
awesome.
talk to us.
We will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Our countdown to pull time. Chase. We started out with Dave Whan, and then Donnie Bower.
Yep,
that was
Donnie
really
Bower.
interesting with the sled.
Yeah, it's cool getting that that insight. You know, we don't really get to talk to a lot of the sled operators. So, and PK's back.
Ooh, we're baking. Here comes Sizzling. Okay, so we just have a few minutes
left.
left.
Yes, exactly, because they want to get set up for this live.
Absolutely.
So, but you haven't talked for like 17 minutes. So I know you're just
I saw your
busting.
timer. I was inside listening, and I was yelling at the TV inside. So if you guys at home are yelling at the TV, you can hit up social media as well and join us in our chats. And
you want them to yell at their TVs?
Yeah, I don't mind. I do. It feels interactive, right? Someday we will get to that point, right?
Why won't? Yeah, and it'll talk back.
Slap me
like,
back, too.
Like you can pick the voice, like Siri or Google, you can pick their voice. I always grab like the Australian, like, turn left, mate.
So if I had a Tesla, what would you do? I'm totally taking this show off the rails. I would put like a British voice or like something intriguing.
Yeah.
If you two,
I surely wouldn't just have a dude saying, turn left here.
So what would be really cool?
Would you?
What would be cool is if you could record a voice and then have that play back, right?
Jason would record his own voice and play it back.
I have Phil Keller do it for me because it's like one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. So it's fantastic.
So refocusing, I took us off the rails.
That's fine.
Was full pull picks, and there's head-to-heads tonight.
Yep.
You guys went over a few head-to-heads, right?
Yeah, we got 3 classes in the Outlaws tonight. Super fun.
Yes.
Did I do 4-wheel drives out there in one other class?
Yep.
So there's like 10 total games up tonight for our pick games tonight.
Absolutely, because full pull picks is a wide breadth of truck and tractor pulling.
Yep.
It covers multiple sports.
It's a blast.
Multiple sanctioning bodies, which is a good thing. It's great for our sport. Grows our sport. Makes those members touch our sport, and those other members, we touch theirs.
Rockwell, Iowa, North Iowa Nationals. I'm excited. They had their best Thursday night crowd they've had. Day crowds are always tough. People are working. It's not terribly hot out. I mean, it's warm out, but there's a nice breeze.
Yes.
So
it was windy all day.
You were outside a lot more today. Chase, was it decent out there?
Oh yeah, it wasn't bad. And what was really impressive was the crowd showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I mean, the sun was shining. It was hot, but man, the crowd was there. So,
but what we've got going on is full pull picks. The live show comes up soon. $39.99. Are we going to offer a little bit of a teaser? So if these people wanted to stay on board, we have a highlights reel that comes up. We have a sponsor reel that's coming up.
Yep.
Are we going to offer a teaser again tonight?
Yeah, we show the first 10 or 15 minutes for free every night.
Every night we're going to do that?
Yep.
See, and I thought I was talking you into that every night.
No.
For those people's benefit.
If it makes you feel better, yes. PK.
Okay, thank
PK
you.
is the reason that it's all happening.
Felt like I was just asking for a Christmas gift.
Chase, sign us off, buddy.
Thank you all for tuning in, and like I said, we'll get on to fullpull.us and place your picks because it's going to be awesome tonight. Tune in to Full Pull Live, and we'll see you all then.
Mark's Water Company, when it comes to your comfort well system, experience.
Welcome, everybody, to Session 3, Rockwell, Iowa, North Iowa Nationals. Great to have you with us here today. One of the best NTPA polls are out there is on the circuit. It's been their goal is to become a super national. All the Grand Nationals are great, but their goal is to be a super national here. We talked with the promoter earlier today. The pits are huge here, super organized. They're just super happy. They had their best Thursday night crowd they ever did. Day crowds are always tougher. They had a nice crowd here the Friday afternoon. It's not stupid hot out, but it's warm. But there is a nice breeze, but at least it's not raining. So we're happy to have you here, wherever you're watching from tonight. Please enjoy the live stream. Let us know how things are going. If you have any thoughts, questions, I'm going to be bringing a lot of different guest announcers with us tonight. Pullers, Phil Kelly, Chase Diamond are going to be doing some trackside reporting as well tonight. So we're going to have a really good time with you. And I'll have some great people in the chairs tonight. So I think Chuck Knapp might be coming in a little bit later. I'm going to have Wesley Foster come in as well. Les Corporal do the mini rods. I'm trying to go out and find people that really know a lot about these classes, or maybe support these classes in different ways for you to break it down. Like if you were tuned in this afternoon, we had Colin Ross come in. That was awesome. Grant Theobald came in as well this afternoon, and really love having the guest announcers with us. So excited to break it all down. We're going to kick it off tonight with light super stocks. Terry Blackburn's going to be the first hook with Considered Armed and Dangerous out of Newton, Wisconsin. He is your current point leader as well in Grand National points, as well as Ryan Anderson, who I think he's winning points as well. I want to check the standings here right now. Oh, Binder Express is in first place. Awesome. Ryan Anderson's in second. He's got a 4-point lead on Ryan Anderson right now as we head in tonight. So it's going to be a great show for you. We can't wait. We're going to be back again tomorrow at noon, and then be back again tomorrow night at 6 o'clock as well. It is about 10 minutes of showtime. If you haven't done so yet, head over to Full Pull Picks, fans. We have games up tonight for Diesel Super Stocks, and you're going to pick 2 out of 3. We have 12 of them. 12 of them. Chance Encounter, Smoke and Mirrors, the Intimidator, Redline Fever, he's 2-1. Digging Hearts 4-1. They're coming back out after their big brand new tractor exploded in Hutchinson, Minnesota. Long Haul Harvesters here. Bone Twisters 2-1. Lock and Load 6-1. Triple Bypasses even money. That's not hard to believe. Kent Payne, Super Rooster, basically 1.3-1. Just Another One, Roger Peterson, 11-1. Sleepless Nights, 11-1. So in the Diesel Super Stock, fans, you're going to pick 2 competitors that you think are going to finish in the top 3. And then I'm going to go to Unlimiteds tonight. That's, I think, the last class of the night. We're doing some head-to-head matchups on that. So we have groups of 4 and 3. And all you do is pick the winner you pick the person you think will do the best out of that group. So out of nonsense, foursome, Emacs, and cross-threaded, who will do the best? They do not have to win the poll. They just have to beat the other 3 or 2 or 4, whatever is in that head-to-head. And then we have Full Blown Wicked versus Blown Scentless and Giddy Up. Giddy Up won the mod class today. Giddy Up is on a roll. They're going to put that 4th motor on. They're going to go pull Unlimited tonight. And then we're going to go, we have Pro Stocks tonight. Youngblood, Braden Shramick, hook number 1, Green with Envy. He's 11-1. Mac Daddy, Julia Ray is basically 1.7-1. Billet Binders, 4.8-1. Workhorse, Rob Russell, 6.7-1. Last Chance 2, 3-1. Red Gamblers, 8-1. Loud and Heavy X, 3-1. New Generation Plus is 1.85-1. Mac Nasty, 11-1. Injected Funds, your defending Grand National champ and current points leader, is 2-1. Money on Black, Peter Norton, 3.7-1. And then Loud and Heavy, RJ Simon, I believe, is driving that tonight. So at 1.2-1. So a lot of games up here for you. Cash picks. We got some head-to-heads. And we have some, pick the best 2 people that you think will finish in the top 3. Light super stocks. Again, we have some field picks there. The field picks won the 2-wheel drive class last night too, so that's really exciting for all of that. We have super semis tonight. General Stupidity, Drivers Wanted, Nikki's Nightmare. So they put Drivers Wanted and Nikki's Nightmare in the same one. So you got to pick 1 and 2 in points to win in that head-to-head versus Temperamental, Let Her Rip, Tater Chip, and Bad Dog. So that's fun there. We had some people win a couple $100 last night on some $5 picks, so that's fun to see. Mini rods tonight are going to be, let's see here. You're going to pick 2 out of 3. Yep, pick two competitors that you think will finish in the top 3. Beautiful view of the scale area here, and that's what I'm talking about. What makes this event truly unique? This place is not a fairgrounds. This place was a hayfield, and then they bought 80 more acres, and they laid it out perfectly. I mean, the gravel through the pits for all the competitors. They'll line up here to the scales, and they roll off that scales, fans, and they go right into the hot pits, and then they go right up onto the track. This was laid out. Again, it's not ripping on the fair or another venue like that, but this one has been there. They set this up for bowling. This is their dream. They want to be another Super National. They want to be talked in that Chapel Hill, that Toma, that Bowling Green. When you talk about the biggest NTPA events they have out there, they want to be mentioned in that. So, quick shot of Marvin Epperson and Donnie Bower, another NTPA Tech official, sitting down there at the starting line, getting ready for over 100 hooks here tonight. Our biggest class fans, let's go through the numbers quick. So, light supers, we have 17 of them. We have 13 pro stocks. We have 8 super semis. And then we have 8 unlimiteds. And we have 19 super farms, 24 mini rods, 10 diesel super stocks. And that'll round it out there for you all tonight. So about 100 hooks or so. I'll get to that. Good shot of Cody Chiswick and Terry Blackburn. Great to see them out here. Cody and Terry both pulled in the heavy super this afternoon. So looks like Cody's out there reading the track a little bit. Can we switch to the hot pit camera, Rogo? It's cool. This is the hot pits back there. So they come off the scales, fans, and then they roll up. They roll up into here, and they're all lined up. So this is a cool shot. We're trying to bring you stuff that you have not seen before on pulling live streams. Really, truly behind-the-scenes stuff. We're working on our audio for our trackside announcers. We think we got it figured out, and then we get too far away or whatever. But our countdown to pull time show starts at 2 hours before. We're still live. We're going to show you fans for free the first 10 or so minutes of the pull tonight for free. But if you want to watch the rest of the event, you sign up for $39.99 a month. And for that, or you get $25 a session. So you do the math on this. There's 5 sessions here this weekend alone. And once you buy it, you can go back and watch it over and over and over again. All the replays are in there. So it is truly an amazing deal, and all the NTPA Grand Nationals are on here. Like, we did not live stream Brandenburg, Kentucky last week, but we recorded Brandenburg, Kentucky last week, and it is now up in the past events as well. So just having a blast here. Great crowd already rolling in. Yeah, that's only available with subscription. I just got that from the booth. Yeah, absolutely. You actually have to pay the $39.99 a month. So, and you can cancel at any time, but you won't, because it's awesome and it'll give you something to watch all year round. And we're gonna be live streaming events in September, October, November. I don't know if we're gonna do any in December, but I know we'll be back with events January. I bet you that we will live stream 11 months out of the year, at least 2 events in those in the slower months, if you will. So we're gonna constantly bring you entertainment all year round. So, good shot there. Now that's the brand new sled, Bowers, all wrapped up with the National Tractor Pulling Championships. Of course, we'll be there in a couple weeks. Bowling Green, Ohio, the biggest granddaddy of them all. Huge events. I guess they got some surprises. Full Pull has some surprises. We're bringing in some big names. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't tell you about it yet, but we've been involved with some meetings to really take this thing to the next level, and we're super excited for that. So, some of the Super Farm pullers back there hanging out. They're going to be the first class up there. Again, Ryan Anderson with the green galvanized stairs checking out Super Farm, currently second in points, will be your first puller on the Super Farm side. And then the legend Terry Blackburn, conservative and engaged out of Newton, Wisconsin, will be our first puller in light super stocks. So, again, fullpullpicks.com, fans, or the Full Pull app. Get on there, check it out. Got a lot of good stuff going on. We had Donnie Bower on our countdown to pull time earlier today, fans. He did a really good job really explaining how a sled works. Talked about the difference between a mini rod sled and the big sleds. And we also talked to Dave Whan and Lee Butts, the press-on Super Farm Tractor and My Last Excuse. They were on our show. So if you want to watch that, you can go back to Facebook or YouTube and just check it in and be rocking and rolling. So we're having a good time here tonight in Rockwell, Iowa. Here comes my guest announcer. He brought Gatorade. So Wesley Foster is going to be joining me here in a little bit. Two-wheel drive competitor. Come on in, bud. Have a seat, Wes. How are you, man? What do you think? You happy to be here?
Yes, sir.
Are you? Cool. We're hot all the time, so you got to behave, okay? The mics. I'm not all the time, but I'm just saying. The mics are. So Wesley Foster joining us here in studio. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Let's talk about that two-wheel drive class last night.
Man.
That was a monster. Marathon is how I explained that.
It was, and it was one of the best tracks for a two-wheel drive. It took every bit that you could throw at it.
So Joe Ader was in here announcing with us, and he basically said he called it 1-to-1. Like, your guys' tires were like one with the track. And
yes,
you could see it at the end when the sled was popping. You guys, literally throwing the sled back, getting off the ground. It was wild.
Last night's track was one of the best tracks you would actually run on week in, week out.
Good stuff. So, Allison, if you don't mind, let's throw up my cell phone number. We'd like to do this. We call it the hotline. So this is going to be the donate to the Wesley Foster Foundation. I'm just teasing, but so people can text us in questions, because this is something we have not done as media. We haven't really put your face on the screen.
Okay.
And we're trying to do a better job of that, because everybody knows what your truck is,
yes,
or knows where you're from, but we've never done a good job of really putting you out there to the public. So we're
Yes,
starting
sir.
to do that a little bit. So if you have any questions for Wesley, please just send them to my cell phone, and we'll keep rocking and rolling on that. We will pause for the national anthem, but they're just doing some open ceremonies right now. But Wes and I can keep chatting as we go through all of this. The live stream's been really fun. Wes, have you had a chance to tune in at all?
I do.
Cool.
I watched this afternoon session.
Good deal.
So, as we was wrenching on Crosswired today, I had it playing over there.
Yeah,
so
good deal.
Yes,
a lot of pullers. I walked through the pits this afternoon to kind of line up some of our guests for our countdown to pull time, and a lot of pullers have it on in their haulers. That makes me happy to see all that. So, have you been to Rockwell before?
I have not, but this is a very, very beautiful facility.
Yeah. I have a hard time saying, like, this is my favorite or this is the best, because there's no such thing. But what I explained to some of the fans before you got on here tonight was, this was never a fairgrounds. This was a hayfield. So, like, when you look why it's laid out so perfectly, they had a blank.
In the driver's meeting yesterday, he said that this was the 16th year for it, and he said that the first year they rented the facilities and started working on it, and eventually they purchased it, and then they started. But you can tell that it is designed for a tractor pull. Everything has been thought out very well on everything. But like I said, the layout for this facility is absolutely like I said, everything works good. The gravel through the pits, so even if you did have rain or what, it really is a nice facility. Yes, sir.
They had an inch of rain on Sunday, and that soaked in well, but there was a chance of real big rain on Wednesday, but they seem to have dodged it, so that's really good. So we're going to be starting out with light supers and super farms. You know how to just kind of work through this together. I'll be talking about all the points. What I really want from you, and what the fans want from you as a competitor and as a puller, is, you know, what would you have done differently? Where are you spotting the sled? That kind of stuff. I really like to talk about that and share that with the fans.
I'm a truck puller, so I'll give you what I know about a tractor or whatnot. So.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I know Les Corporal's going to come in and do the mini rods with me. Chuck Knapp's supposed to come in and do the Unlimiteds with me tonight, the Screamin' D. They just, Joe Ader bought their 4 engines off the Screamin' D.
That's what Chuck was telling us earlier.
And I think Jack Kilmeyer bought the fuel injection stuff off of it, so that tells me they might be working on another mod as well. So, yep. Do you have any social media? Somebody wants to know, like, how do they follow you on social media?
Just Facebook, Wesley Foster is all I got. We don't have a team, Foster Farms or anything like that. So
now you have 2 trucks on your team, right?
Yeah, well, we've got the 2 2-wheel drives, bar and crosswired, and then really my cousin Martin Daniel, he's got the 2 light supers, light supers that we help with.
You'll get to say his name here. He's right after Terry Blackburn.
Yeah. What I have figured out about a lightweight super though is if I wanted that many headaches, I just need a second wife instead of getting a light super. So.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
Don't tell my wife I said that.
Nobody's watching this live.
She's a great wife,
No, it's all good. Okay, so we'll pause here for the national anthem.
I've seen that video a lot of times, folks. Go ahead and sit down. We got a few more things to do yet. Seen that video lots of times, folks, and it still chokes me up when them little girls, little boy go out and run out and hug their dad. Gets me every time. Out here doing our color guard tonight is the Legion Post 208. Give them a round of applause if you would. Tomorrow night is our Veterans Night, as many of you know, where we ask the veterans to meet down there at the end of the track and come out on the track with the color guard. So if you're here tomorrow night, if you're a veteran, or if you know a veteran that's coming tomorrow night, please pass that word on to them. We'd love to have them out here and honor them if we could. The people we're talking about did a lot of things for this country in their lifetime. Without them doing what they did, we wouldn't be here doing what we do. I'd like to ask all the military veterans to please stand up. veteran, not the preacher, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us the right to protest. It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the veteran who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by our flag, that allows the protesters to burn our flag. To all the men and women currently serving in our armed forces, and all who have served, I have two words. Thank you. Now if you'd all please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. Ben Baird is going to sing our national anthem for us. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous height, o'er the ramparts we watched was a valiantly streaming, and the rocket thread glad, the balls bursting in us, gave proof through the night that the flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Ben Baird, folks, give him a round of applause. He's been out here the last 3 nights, does an awesome job with that national anthem. These guys all right here.
That's our plan. All right, so we're back here at Rockwell, Iowa, session 3, 6 o'clock Central. Wesley Foster here with me, two-wheel drive truck competitor. We're hanging out in the booth. I love this great shot here. They had their best Thursday night crowd ever last night, Wes. So that was good to see all of that.
Perfect weather. It was nice, a little bit of a breeze, but it was really nice last night.
You know, and day tracks are tough this afternoon. It did dry out a little bit during the four-wheel drive class there at the end, but it was way worse last year, the mini rod class. They were just tearing up tires. They couldn't get hooked up. You know, like you almost need to hook a heavier vehicle
first.
You know, something like that. They really get it dug in. But this was seriously one of the best tracks I'd seen last night. Watching the two-wheel drive just absolutely destroy
For a two-wheel drive, whenever my brother was first hooked, whenever they reset the sled.
They reset twice.
Yeah. Correct. And he was first official hook, and he went out there, and they was like, what do you think? And I'm like, man, 351, man, that's
solid.
Let's go.
396.
And then the very next one is like 359. They just kept on easing out through there. But it is very, very tough. And I understand, like, the tech officials and everything. It's tough calls, you know.
Well, Joe Leader said that is the toughest job.
Correct, yes. And, you know, one week, the competitors, and especially in the two-wheel drive, every vehicle out there, we all have the same parts anymore. We all have the same chassis anymore. So anymore, it's just, you know, basically... I think luck has a lot to do with how you finish anymore. What kind of number did you draw? Where did you did you pick it the right spot, or did the person in front of you go sideways down through there? Then you have to jump his ruts, or so.
We saw in the light mod class last night when Bill Voorhees went past R.J. Simon. He got off to the right. He got into some virgin dirt that the grousers had not touched yet. I think he just kind of skidded along on the top of it. That much, you know, all that wheel speed and ground.
We were in Brandenburg last week, and have you ever been to Brandenburg?
I haven't heard a lot of good things
So,
about it.
oh yeah, awesome facility there also. But the track at the starting end, you can't go all the way over to the left-hand side of the track.
Really?
It backs into kind of, there's a tree there, and they can't back. So everybody was running to the center to right, and it got time for my run. I was exactly what you said. We moved it all the way over as we could, and it worked out. But sometimes you pull a hero, and sometimes you pull a zero. So.
Yep. Here we go, fans. Terry Blackburn, Newton, Wisconsin, considered armed and dangerous. So we do have the games up. I think they'll be shutting them down here on fullpullpicks.com. But he is 1-1 are the odds on Terry. What you're doing in the light supers, you're picking 2 competitors and finishing the top 3. And you can grab the field. And Field Picks won the 2-wheelers last night because all the top 10 in points were so spread out in the pulling order, and we know that truly affected it, how it all shook out. So.
And like you said, like with the 2-wheel drives last night, there's 30-something of us running for points, and it didn't change the order much in the top 10.
Sure
just
not.
a few points here, but 15th and back, it changed a lot.
Yeah. Here we go, fans. Considered armed and dangerous.
Which camera? Or which video? The red?
That one, top right. Okay, the program. That's what people are seeing at home. Yep. Your current points leader got a 2-point lead on Yield Express. Will be our test puller here tonight in Rockwell, Iowa. And I ask every puller this, so we haven't. Do you like being first hook?
I always think that if you can make first hook count, then that's where you want.
Okay.
So I mean, just like my brother last night, we thought that it was a very very good run. We threw a lot at it, and we thought that it would be good. Look at Donnie Sullivan at Farley, Iowa. He was first hook, made a good run.
30-some trucks,
and it paid off. So I always say if you can make first hook count, I think there is an advantage. But it's one of those things that we were talking about. Sometimes luck has more to do with, does the track get better as the class goes on? Does it get worse?
317.255 Wesley for Terry Blackburn. I'm going to find out if he's going to keep that or not. I'm sure the sled is set. We'll see if Terry keeps it or not. So
he's very, very tough to beat.
Oh yeah, he's one of the OG. So, do you know if he kept that or not, Allie? Have you heard yet? Have you guys heard? Allie, did he keep that? Do you know? Terry Blackburn, did he keep it? Okay, they haven't said yet. Cool. So that's how I talk to the other room. So. The secrets. We're having a lot of fun here. Super Farm pulling now, 9,300 pounds. This tractor, this is Ryan Anderson. Green galvanized stairs, checking out Super Farm.
Very tough Super Farm.
Yep. I think he won down at Brandenburg.
Yes, he did.
Now, I think we're going to see a lot of left to center. I've been noticing on this track all weekend long.
It loaded him really hard
it
there. He sounded like he was loaded from the get-go.
So this will be your least horsepower tractor here this week in the Super Farm class. They're probably around 1,800 horse. So that's what's fun about coming to a grand national event like this. You're seeing the best of the best that the NTPA can bring to town.
As a 2-wheel drive puller, I'd rather run behind a Super Farm than any other class. They are... And I think they even know it. They're track builders. Yep. They are.
Well, they weigh
perfect.
9,300 pounds. 3 of them. So Terry Blackburn did keep his distance.
Okay.
So he's going to be official over there. I don't know if Ryan will keep that or not. That tractor runs good, but he's tough decision. He's 2 points behind, or 4 points I think behind Dan Schulte. Let me check my points here. Yeah, he's 4 points behind Dan Schulte, the Binder Express. Ryan's got a win in Farley and a win in Brandenburg. Gary Schulte's got a second in Farley and a second in Brandenburg. Okay. He's dropping to 6 on that. So you can drop to the end or 6, right?
Correct. Or you can come back immediately.
So do you know this guy, this Martin Daniel guy, Wes?
This right here, Daniel Northcutt is the one driving this.
Okay.
Martin owns the tractor. Daniel is his nephew, and he's driving. Cool. So, Martin and my mother are cousins. So
cool.
we're whenever Martin first purchased this our tractor, we only had the barbed wire truck, so we hauled this tractor and barbed wire in the same trailer and everything. So usually my brother loves lightweight supers, and he usually travels a lot with Martin and Daniel and Jacob Fuquay and Ethan. They'll talk on the phone for hours about a lightweight super, and I'm like, can we talk about two-wheel drives for a second
I
here?
have a two-wheel drive truck?
Yeah.
Doesn't Fuqua have a two-wheel drive truck too?
He does, but he doesn't like it.
That's awesome. Yeah, you don't see much crossover, do you? It's either you're a tractor guy or a truck guy. Yeah, got to doing the light super walk a little bit.
Took a beating there,
yep.
yeah. He's been struggling with ignition problems on that tractor.
I heard it's the first 50 feet, yeah.
Yeah, you could tell that it was spitting. I know that he's went through a few points boxes and coals here lately and everything. So, it's one of them things that whenever it's going your way, it doesn't matter what class it is. If it's your turn, it's your turn or time. Yep. If it's not, then sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yep. You said that was Daniel Northcutt driving it, right?
Yes.
So, Greg Freeze, Deer Tracks out of Manchester, Tennessee.
And he's right down the road from us also. So.
I was going to say. That's great about having you in here. You know all these guys. So, Deer Tracks is currently 10th in the points. Won top 5 this year, got a third. And it looks like
he won points last year?
Yeah, defending champion there.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch the replay there of Daniel Northcutt. I know we have Martin Daniel on the thing, and so that's the sheet that the NTPA gives
Correct.
us. And these vehicles are signed up for multiple.
I'll be honest with you. I usually register Martin's vehicles, and they're just in his name. So,
so they are going to lighten up the sled. So this is a sled change. So after Ryan dropped it, the sled operator did decide to. They like to let you run here at Rockwell if you haven't noticed yet. So, What's the farthest you've ever pulled in your two-wheeler?
Probably 385 or so. We've had a few hooks. We run a lot of Mid-South pullers down there, and you know we've had a few runs like that. And I was at Bowling Green one year, and they were stretching them out there, and there's like 25 two-wheelers in the pull-off that night. But
so this will be your new test puller, Greg Freeze, Deer Tracks. Yeah, that's more out there towards that distance they're looking for. So now he will have that option of keeping or turn us down, fans, as a test puller. Look at that full grandstand.
He was talking about letting them run here. Don't get on Facebook today because there's the debate on 300 feet versus 350 feet or 370 or whatnot.
Can I tell you what's more fun to watch? This.
So the debate is, what's the hardest on an engine going 300 versus, the 385.
Well, you tell me because I'm not a mechanic.
Well, I timed it so we're at Farley was one of the shortest Grand National two-wheel drive, winners, which was 311. Okay. And then last night, Tim Beatty, he was basically
396. Yep.
Basically 400 feet. So you're looking at 90 feet difference, and the time on the runs was almost identical. They were both right at 14, 15 seconds.
There you go.
So
you don't go as fast, right? When you're slugging it.
A lot of times, the shorter the distance, you just sit there and burn the tires down the track, and it takes forever to go down the track. It's slow motion. But last night, I know mid-track, I felt like I was flying down the track.
Because you were. Here we go. Gary Hagel, Pullman, Wisconsin, up by La Crosse. Destination unknown.
One thing I do like about the lightweight super class is there's so much diversity in the sheet metal and stuff. I mean, it's a great class to get different sheet metals, and that's I think a great looking tractor there, and adds diversity into the class also.
Yeah, Gary runs a lot with WTPA, Wisconsin Tractor Pullers, which is the state association of the NTPA and Region 3. Here is your current points. I've known Dan Schulte my whole life. He's pulled against my dad with our D21 back in the day, and just started running Grand National the last couple of years. One of those state level guys that could go anywhere any weekend and win. So,
and you talk about state level versus national level. Everybody's always like the toughest pullers are here, and the toughest pullers. I think in any more time you can go anywhere, and the competition is, we've run Grand National here and there throughout the years, or the champion, or on the national level, and.
Like so we're going to go, hold on, they're going trackside. Sorry, Wes.
Okay, you're
whispering in my ear. Okay, we're going to wait for the Super Farm to go first. That's trying to get everything all coordinated.
Oh,
Here's
you're
Dan
good.
Schulte out of Manchester, Iowa, with the Binder Express, currently first in the Grand National points.
It's a good run.
Yeah, it was, lugging it down there. You know what makes me happy? That full grandstands.
Great crowd.
You know, pullers, we want to get paid more, and we need more fans in the stands, you know what I mean? And then we can get more sponsors, and that's what I'm really excited about what Full Pull's bringing along here, you know, with the new live stream, the new setup, the wagering. I'm really pumped up for the future. You know, it's like a small snowball, Wesley, and I know you don't get snow in Tennessee like I do in Wisconsin, but but we're having fun. So see the replay here of Dan Schulte. I'm pretty sure he took the lead. Yeah. Oh.
No, second.
Wow. That shocks me. That shocks me.
Freeze is tough now.
Oh, I know. Just from looking at the distances, I thought he was down there. Yeah, last night, anybody got Wes sucked over to the right on that track? No good at all. No bueno. So there you go. Deer Tracks, 332. Binder Express, 327. Like you said, I'm pretty sure Deer Tracks is your defending champion at Super Farm. So
Last year, he was on a roll. It was like everywhere he went, he was right there. So
this is Scott Whitworth out of Worthington, Missouri, the bin buster.
That looks like Scott out front.
Oh, that's Colton driving.
Yeah, Colton driving. Yeah.
Again, this is what, you know, everybody signed up for a couple different tracks. Scott's the dad, Colton's the son.
Correct.
Driving
Great people.
it. Yeah, oh, they're awesome.
Yes, super awesome.
Scott
people.
would have driven the heavy tractor here earlier today.
Correct.
Colton went on some couple rough rides up there in Toma with both of these tractors, but these guys don't give up. So we got Terry Blackburn out there in the lead at 321. But light supers are like mini rods. The horsepower to weight ratio is wild on these things, and if they get upstairs and they get to walking, it can get crazy. So.
Once again, like I said, the lightweight supers, one thing they've got for them is the diversity in the sheet metal and the color schemes and everything.
We have a new leader.
Yep. That sucker was pounding the ground.
You know, I said to myself as he was going, long as it doesn't cough, he's going to
Sucker was running right there.
He had the best momentum, ground speed we've seen so far in the light superstock class. So this front end was just barely off the ground.
It was a pretty run.
Jamie Morrow coming up next. Yes, dear, out of Mount Hope, Wisconsin. We watched the replay here of Scott Whitworth out of Worthington. That's going to be tough to beat, Wes.
You know, this front end picks up and it carries until the box stopped out there, but it was a very pretty run.
Yeah, whenever you can get in front of Terry Blackburn, you know you did a good thing.
I will say that Terry has done a very good job here in recent years trying to make help everybody to get them tractors running.
Here comes Yes Deer. Out right where Gary Schulte did or Dan
Them
Schulte did.
Super
Wow.
Farms, man, they're always,
They're tight.
it's an inch class. I mean, they're just right there on top of each other all the time.
So the bin buster went 346. So we got a new leader on that.
25 feet there.
Yeah, that's a big distance. So the Yes Deer was one of those Super Farms back in the day, like
Correct.
2000. We saw it all the time. And they kind of, but sometimes you have kids, you get busy, and you park them for a while. Had those wheels kind of turned off to the left there a little bit. Somebody said that was awesome to have Wesley talk about the times on 90-foot difference in the pulls. What kind of puller would he run other than a two-wheel drive? There's your question. Probably light super. That's
Well,
your
you
family.
said that, but what I told you earlier, if I wanted that much headaches, then I'd probably just
Get
look
that
for a
wife.
second wife. But lightweight super, I do like. I like it. I dabble it in a little bit with Martin and Daniel, and but like I said, it's a very diverse class. But I'm too big for a mini rod, I feel.
No, Joe Ader said that last night too. He goes, "I got to lose some weight."
Yeah.
He loved driving his mini rod, but he goes, "I said you got to be like a little jockey. little direct
And
horses.
Another thing that I look in a class too is where can you run it? That's one thing about a two-wheel drive. The rules are pretty much the same no matter where you go.
Yep.
So if I want to go run in Ohio with their state or Wisconsin or North Carolina,
you don't have to worry about different size this or different size that.
I don't have to say, I wonder what their rules are there. The two-wheel. And I think that's the reason why everywhere you go there's 20 to 50 two-wheel drives, because the rules are the same. We all have the same stuff. Lightweight supers, they're very popular around home. Got a lot of hooks for that. And, like you said earlier about the Super Farm tractor a while ago, it kind of disappeared there for a few years. Or sometimes, it's easier just to run close to home. I could be pulling 30 minutes from my house tonight and tomorrow night, but here I am 14 hours from home.
Exactly. But it's fun to do that, too. Morristown, Indiana is the home of Rex Coon and Letter Buck. For those of you watching for free on Facebook and YouTube, we're going to end it here after these next two vehicles. So you're going to want to head over to fullpull.live and buy the monthly subscription or pay $25 just for tonight. So this is a good one here, Wesley. So could shake it up.
Oof. He was in the top 3 last week at Brandenburg, but that didn't look like that was very good there.
That's not good at all.
That's one thing as a competitor. I never want to see another competitor hurt anything at all, because I know that I wouldn't want.
Down there.
He's right there.
He is.
That was a very good run.
That's the Wayne Lamore and Fear the Deer out of Boone, Iowa. Not too far from home. This is kind of their hometown pull. I would say this.
He loaded up there at the end.
Yeah, that's what those super farms do. They'll get in there and they'll lug.
He almost choked it Graveyard Dead.
They'll get in there and lug. We've got our picture in the picture there of Rex Coon. And the Letter Buck. Big explosion on that alcohol tractor there. And I know, we said, so we had Freeze out there at 332, right? Yeah. We'll get a distance here for you.
I want to say he's probably in the 40s there.
Here's our replay. Doug will slow this down. We have live down there in picture, so looks good, right? Got her up there a couple times, and then it got whack.
Usually look to see if the turbos blow off of it, but it looks like the explosion was in behind it there. See the flash. I don't know if that... Some light supers have burst panels on them. I don't know if that was a burst panel or not.
Rex didn't even flinch. He's just like, dang it, Wes. This is gonna be expensive.
Did we get a distance on the Super Farm?
Yeah, we're gonna play that right now.
Okay.
So. This is the replay now of Wayne Lamore out of Boone, Iowa with Fear the Deer.
340. Right now, Super Farm, first place, we got Fear the Deer at 340.74 with that last run. Second place, we've got Deer Tracks at 332. Third place, Yes Deer at 327.75. And then fourth place, we've got Binder Express at 327.30.